back, season 2, Real with Omar. Today, my special guest is Diego, or Dandy in the Bronx.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Diego does, or Dandy? What should I call you?
You know, honestly, Dandy, because
Dandy?
I think most people just don't, it doesn't click for them.
Okay.
My human name, Diego. So they're like, Dandy.
All right,
yeah.
so we're gonna go with Dandy. So Dandy is the first time I'm interviewing somebody who does what he kind of does, and he's an influencer. That's everybody wants to be an influencer, right? So I have to ask you, how did you start being an influencer? What exactly is an influencer? And what do you do as an influencer?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question because influencer has so many different connotations, positive and negative,
Right.
of course. But a million years ago, I used to be a teacher, actually.
A million years ago.
Yeah, over 9,000 years ago, I was a teacher.
BC.
And, yeah, and I went to college for early childhood education, and I got my master's in literacy education. So nothing to do
With what you're doing.
with what I'm doing. Like I didn't go to FIT, I didn't learn marketing, I didn't learn fashion or anything like that. But what encouraged me to wear suits and like learn how to dress this way was my students, actually, because at my school, my kids wore uniforms.
Okay.
And I wanted to be a good role model for them because, you know, they don't really see, there's not a lot of positive Latino male teachers out there. It's not there.
It's a rarity.
You know?
Okay.
So like, I want to be like that guy. If they're going to be wearing, you know, uniforms, I got to be dressed up as well.
Yeah.
So
if not, maybe a little better.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
There
Yeah,
you go.
absolutely.
So I went on social media to like, how do I wear a suit? I was following other bloggers, influencers. I didn't even know what that was. I was just like, oh, that guy has a cool suit on.
How does he wear it?
How does he wear it? Let me follow him. I'm going to learn from that.
Okay.
So I started dressing myself up based on that. And I started posting about it on Instagram.
Okay.
Just like any regular human being back then, you know?
What year is this?
Yeah, this is 2014.
2014.
2014. So I started posting about my suits on social media. Then people started following me. People say, oh yeah, that's a cool suit. Where'd you get it? You know? And I was just learning on the fly.
Right.
How do colors match? You know, what's the name of this jacket style? What's the name of this tie knot? You know, all that stuff. And then people started following me. One day, a brand slid in my DMs. They were like, hey, Diego, we like your Instagram. Can we send you a free tie? At the time, I was like, oh yeah, of course. I love a free tie. Not knowing that actually was a marketing technique. They were sending that tie because they liked me. They sent that tie because they saw that I had an audience, that those were eyeballs for that particular product they were sending to me. So obviously they sent it to me. I wore it. I showed it off to my audience. I was very excited about it. And I learned that was something called influencer marketing. You know, that was a way to sell a product in a different way rather than, buying ads on
Like an indirect way.
An indirect way, very true, yeah, indirect way. So I was like, oh, people make money this way? This is a thing?
So you were still at school working?
Yeah, I was still doing this. So like at the same time, I was building my Instagram while still being a teacher at the same time.
Okay.
And I remember the first time I was like, oh, I got invited to like an event, like a brand event. It was like a GQ little event. It was like at an H&M or something.
Nice.
I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like I went there, open bar, and I was hanging out with other influencers, bloggers, whatever you want to call them, Instagrammers. And basically, we all had very similar styles. We were all like menswear enthusiasts. We like wearing suits, you know? So I learned like this was the thing, and people make money this way. So then I was like, let me learn more about this. So I took a break from teaching. I took some classes in digital marketing to learn more about what goes behind the scenes. And that was in 2014 where I left teaching to pursue digital marketing, building up my social media account, being an influencer, while also learning more about social media and creating content.
So it was just a conscious decision to do it. It wasn't like a moment where you said, oh, I think I want to do this. It was something you were doing already.
Yeah, it was
like,
kind of...
So it was almost like your passion, right? Because you were doing it for free.
Literally, I was doing it for free. And I was like enjoying the free products, of course. You know, I was getting free ties, free suits, free shirts, free everything. I didn't have to buy clothes, like low key. Like I was like actually getting free stuff. But then I learned that, I can actually pay the bills this way. And I was getting kind of like disheartened with like being a teacher because like it was a lot of energy I had to put into being a teacher.
Right.
And I love teaching, but like you put a lot of energy in, you don't really get a lot back.
Right.
Like and I love my students, I love the kids, I love.
We're talking about the politics of the educational system.
Yeah, it was,
all right, let's just be very clear on that.
Yeah, it was all the red tape, all the politics, and I just wasn't. I felt like I was putting so much energy in, and not getting anything back.
Right.
And this new passion that I discovered, dressing myself up, wearing suits, creating content, taking pictures, going to parties, I was like, let me learn more about that. now we're here.
This life is a little alluring, right?
Yeah, and now we're here hanging
so
out.
7 years later.
7 years later, and now we're here hanging out.
Now we're here talking about it.
Yeah.
So besides that, I mean, there's different ways to do influencer marketing. Can you just, I mean, I just want to I know a little bit, I don't know a lot.
Yeah.
So if you can just educate me a little more. So there's brand placement, obviously,
Yes, of
right?
course.
And then there's, if a brand tells you, we want you to do like a video about this, like, what do you call that? What is that called?
So so all of it are different variations of influencer marketing. So
Right.
influencer marketing, at the end of the day, in layman's terms, it's like almost like a celebrity endorsement.
Okay.
You work with a celebrity to like wear a certain product, and then by them wearing it, that's a commercial almost.
Right.
If they're wearing it to a show, if they're gonna wear it in a movie, like you're watching a movie,
Right.
and you out of nowhere you see a MacBook, like that's
Apple paid
like
for that.
exactly. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? So
Oh, the big Coke sign.
there you go.
Right,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Coke pays for that. Think of influencers are almost like walking brand ambassadors, walking billboards, and brands sometimes want to tap into that because they have built-in audiences that are passionate, that care about the influencer, that care about their brand, and brands want to get into there because it makes it more organic, more real, and they can get new eyeballs on a product they're trying to sell.
So brands are trying to leverage and pierce different circumferences, different circles of people, basically, in that way, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who would usually not look at something, maybe you wear it a certain way, and they're like, "Oh, Diego's cool. Oh shit, that's cool. Oh shit, let me try it."
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Kind of like
literally.
back in the days when I was younger. I'm a little older than you. GQ,
Yeah.
right? GQ was the magazine. You would go, you see these guys wearing the models, and you're like, "Oh, I want to wear a suit like that." So basically, it's that taking that paper and putting it into the digital world.
Yeah, it's a modern day magazine, so to
Right,
speak. So when you're visiting my website or my Instagram, Dandy in the Bronx, you trust what I'm doing, you believe what I'm doing, and that's the more important thing to me as well, because I believe in trust. Because as soon as I ruin that trust, I'm done. That's a
Right.
very important thing, that I have that relationship with my audience. So when I'm promoting something, I believe in it. I trust it, and that's what I think a lot of influencers sometimes mess up in. They're like
Right,
promoting.
they'll do anything.
They'll do anything.
Right,
that
right,
that
right.
could be a really bad thing because it dilutes your brand.
Well, we talked about this off camera. But we can bring it onto
Yeah.
camera. You like to wear things that are made in the USA.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's a big thing, just trying to bring manufacturing back to the States, being able to support small town people. So I preach that on my social media.
Right.
Like I'm like, oh, this is made in the USA. This is made in Queens. This is made in the Bronx. This is made in Manhattan, XYZ, whatever. And I feel like that's a story that's important to me. And I want to be able to share that with my audience so that when they're shopping for something, they're more coherent about it. They're like, okay, I want to buy this, but where's it from? Who made it? What's the storyline behind it? So that's my kind of like niche.
You're raising their
influencing.
level of consciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
my word.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
There's my word.
And I want that my audience to be smarter when they're like purchasing something, to think about where it's coming from, who's making it, who's it impacting when you buy something.
Right.
Because when you buy something, that's like you're voting with your money. You're telling the world what you believe in with your money.
Right. Right.
So like
where you spend your dollars has a really big impact on the economy.
exactly.
In the world,
So
right.
if you make these choices of your money, make sure they're smart, thought out choices, because they have long impacting effects on the industry and the world. Because at the end of the day, where you spend your money tells the world what you believe in, what you trust,
Right.
how you do your life.
Right. I like that. All right. Another question for you. I believe it does, but I want to hear your take on it. Does dressing for success, the way you dress, does that change your mindset?
You ever heard of the phrase, you don't judge a book by its cover?
Yes.
It's bullshit. It's
Okay.
a lie. It's the biggest lie ever told.
Biggest lie told him. Humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Humans love to judge people based on how they look. They like putting them in categories.
We talked about that.
Yeah, they'll size you up. They'll look at you and be like, all right, X, Y, and Z. This is the person.
They want to digest you and categorize you very quickly.
Yeah. So, just by chance though, I like wearing suits, and people already have a preconceived notion of what a suit is,
What it
kind of
represents.
what it represents, what kind of person wears it. So by wearing a suit, I've already have a built-in like confidence boost, a built-in personality that people already assume because, oh, this guy's wearing a suit, he must be
serious guy.
a serious guy. So I take advantage of that because people are quick to judge. But if they see me wearing a suit, 3-piece, 2-piece, whatever, I'm wearing a freaking fedora and I show up,
Right.
they already assume a million things. Like, this guy's put together, he knows what he's doing, he owns something.
Yeah, he
Business
takes
owner.
time to put himself together.
He takes time to put himself together. So that's something I want to teach my audience as well, that people will judge you regardless. We can preach to the end of the world that
It doesn't matter.
we
doesn't
shouldn't.
matter.
Yeah, we shouldn't judge people. And 100% we shouldn't.
Right. But we do.
But we do, sadly.
right.
So I think that's a small step. Like, at least wearing a suit for me, I want to be able to teach people that people are going to judge you. So why not at least control some aspects of that with what you wear, with your style, with your personality, with the way you present yourself. Especially for Latinos.
Right.
Because like people are quick to judge no matter what. Why don't you control that?
Yeah,
Control
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. I think that circling back to me, I think when I wear a suit, I become more purposeful in what I have to do. I automatically become some way more organized. I don't know how that happens, but the hardwiring in my brain changes, and I'm like, all right. And I think it goes back to what I said to you. If you take time to put yourself together, obviously there's an intent behind it, there's a care behind it, and I think most people don't realize that the more you care about something, the better you are at it, the better you become at it. And I'm just saying, just getting dressed a certain way to go to work may make you work better. Like you've heard the statement, dress for the position you want, not the one you have.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that concept was based upon the fact of just manipulating a mindset. Once you get dressed a certain way, I mean, just to use a cartoon character, Iron Man has to wear a suit of armor to go fight crime, right?
Yeah.
He can't hang out in his briefcase. same concept. Like if I'm doing banking or real estate, I dress a certain way. There's other days in the summer, especially, I wear a t-shirt and jeans. But if I'm running around, that's to be expected because you go on. I'm doing site visits and there's mud and you climb on the roof and you can't do that in a suit. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta dress.
could, but
Yeah, but I won't. I won't wear. What do you call those? The knickers?
Wellingtons.
Oh, Wellingtons, right? I can wear some
Wellies.
Wellingtons
Yeah.
and jump on there, but I don't. I usually wear sneakers because it makes me more comfortable for me. But I think during the pandemic, a lot of that was lost. I think, and there's nothing wrong with being comfortable. If you're working from your house is one thing. If you're gonna see people, like you said, people are quick to categorize. So they see you, they're like, all right, so he can't be that successful, right? He's wearing a white t-shirt or he's wearing flip-flops or, you know what I'm saying? Like it just becomes that game. And then you're working from a deficit of credibility. Like your credibility, you try to establish credibility as much credibility as you can, as soon as you can, so that you're now working from a sense of equilibrium where you don't have to they'll be, if somebody doesn't believe you just based on the way you look, they're gonna I don't want to say attack you, but they're gonna question everything you say from the moment you open your mouth to the moment that you prove them wrong. I believe that if you dress a certain way, and police have to wear uniforms, right? Because they're police. We have to see them. They're police. Firemen have to wear fire retardant. They have to jump in the fire. Businessmen should be dressing in business attire if they want to be treated as businessmen. If they don't care about that, or if they've reached a certain level of success that maybe doesn't matter anymore.
That's true.
Because I've met some pretty successful businessmen that look like they're homeless.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It's a look. It's a look.
It's a hipster. It's the hipster look. It's called. It's the hipster look. Yeah, you can come at me for that one. But that's what I've seen in my industry. In your industry, have you seen influencers that kind of go the other way? Like they're like kind of grungy and that's their thing?
It's interesting because for an influencer, the most important thing is to figure out what's your niche, what's your gimmick, what do you care about? And for me, it's always been suits. So like you're going to be very hard pressed to find me in anything else unless it's like April Fool's Day and I'm like wearing like a t-shirt or something. You know what I mean?
You don't wear a suit to go to the gym.
Well, but no one's going to see me at a gym though. You know what I mean though? So like, yes, of course, I own a t-shirt, I guess. I own a t-shirt, to go to the gym.
Sneakers.
You know what I mean though? Like I have a sneaker, but but that's not my vibe. I'm trying to show off to the world. You know what I mean though?
Well, stop right there. So people understand influencer marketing is about what you want to show to the world.
Yeah.
Because you keep certain things for yourself.
Yeah, but it's true but things have been changing. At the end of the day, social media is the highlight reel. You're showing your best moments. You're not showing your
your darkest moments.
Your darkest moments. But like some people now, they are showing now even the dark moments as well. It really depends on what you want to give to the world. You want to show off. Some people resonate more with the darker stuff, honestly. But it really depends on what you're trying to show off. But for me though, I like suits. I want to show off me wearing suits, and that's what I care about. And me showing anything else, like I might do it randomly, like maybe as a joke or like as a before and after situation. But I know that's not me. Like, yes, I do own a hoodie, one hoodie,
One hoodie.
you know, but you know that's not my character. That's not me. You know what I mean? But in terms of the grand scheme of things, like other,
So do you walk around your house in a suit?
like I have a robe. You know what I
Okay,
mean though? So I
okay.
have like a robe.
Getting behind the curtain on
Hey,
this guy.
look, I have various robes. So like
Okay.
it's my house robes,
Okay.
you know. So and I have loafers as well, you know. So like I feel comfortable in that. That's the thing though. Like it might seem far fetched, but like I found something that I feel comfortable in that makes me feel good, and I can still produce while wearing that.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean,
gonna resonate with people because if you really feel comfortable with it, it's gonna show, right? Like people, there's authenticity, right? You can kind of tell when somebody's really comfortable doing something, or if it's really them. Or I mean, I was talking to, this is where I break the fourth wall. I was talking to JC about something the other day. Well, like I saw somebody, and I'm like, that's not the way he talks. Like, who's he trying to be? Like, you know, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting really good at that. They're like, yeah, like
People can see right through.
right.
you.
They're
People
like
can see right through
dismissing
you.
it.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
it's not real, they're like, yeah, get this out of here. Because
Yeah.
I've become a victim of that. I'm like, yo, who's he trying to be? That guy? Like, that's not him. So yeah, I think you wouldn't be as successful as you are if it wasn't really your passion.
Yeah.
Because it'd be easy to tell.
You know, people have very powerful BS meters. Like
Okay.
they can tell like this guy is phony, this person is like full of it. Like you as a person on social media, because you are low key an influencer as well. People care about your story. People care what you're doing. So you need to craft that in a way that is true to you, because people
Right.
can tell like this guy's just is a wannabe.
Right.
Like
right.
you know what I mean though. So
And just to be clear, my story is I'm telling you all the mistakes I've made, so maybe you don't make them.
there
That's
you
really
go.
that's
Yeah.
really in a nutshell.
And that's important though, because it's important to be clear about what's your intent on social media as well. If you want to be an influencer or blogger or whatever you want to be, like why should I follow you? Why do I even care about you in the first place? There are thousands of other people who wear suits.
if not millions.
There's
right?
millions of
Yeah.
people who wear suits, but there's only one Latino from the Bronx who likes wearing suits, who loves Pokemon, who's like on Twitch, who likes Marvel. You know what I mean? I created my own thing,
You created your own person.
my own
right?
person,
Yeah, yeah.
and people who like that will follow me for that. You know. So what is your story?
Talk about Twitch though,
Yeah.
because I talked to you a little bit about it, but I just
Yeah.
want to learn. All right, so Twitch is owned by Amazon. You said.
Yeah.
This is like educational for me too.
Okay, of course.
So Twitch is a streaming channel.
Yeah.
It can only be done live.
yeah.
And owned by Amazon. And so once, is it like Snapchat where it can't be recorded?
So so Twitch is a live streaming platform. So think of it as using Facebook Live or Instagram Live.
Right.
But the whole social media channel is only those, only
live.
live, only
Now,
live.
what's your major demographic on Twitch?
So honestly, right now it leans very young, honestly, and plus I do stream in the morning, so that means I get a lot of people from like overseas as well.
Really?
You know, I have people in Poland and the UK who watch me,
Okay.
and people who like work from home, obviously. But I'm trying to get some people from Instagram also to join me on Twitch as well. But Twitch is like people think of Twitch as mostly gaming content, but the
That's
thing
what I
is-
thought it was.
yeah, but it is. A majority of it is gaming content. But at the end of the day, it's what you make of it. Like, for example, this could be streamed on Twitch. We could have done this on Twitch.
Twitch, right.
And there are categories for podcasting.
But why Twitch over YouTube or Facebook?
Well, here's the thing though. You need to figure out where your audience is.
Okay.
You need to maybe this would have been better if I did it on Facebook. Maybe it would have been better if I did it on YouTube. It really depends on where I feel more comfortable in, where my potential audience could be. Because maybe if I did it on Facebook, it would have fell flat because it's just no one's using it as much, so to speak.
Right.
But I went on Twitch because I had some friends who were already on Twitch. I've used Twitch before. I was already familiar with the platform, and it was the most comfortable I was in right there.
Okay. You keep talking about that. You know that, right? Comfortable.
Yeah,
Being comfortable.
I think the key thing is
Yeah.
whatever you do, honestly,
Right,
in
right,
life,
right.
it's just to be comfortable in it.
Right.
Whether you wear, sweats, a black T-shirt, or whatever, as long as you're like comfortable in it.
Shout out.
That's shout out. Like the key thing is like I'm not here to tell you what to wear.
Right.
I can tell you what I wear and what makes me feel. And if you want to feel that way too, maybe that will
Maybe
work
it'll
for
work
you.
for you.
Maybe
Right,
work for you, you know, because I'm not here to tell you that the suit is going to change your life.
Right.
It might.
Might change your mindset.
It might
for the
change your
day.
mindset, you know,
Yeah.
because I think that's a key thing as well. Mindset, mental health, and everything. Like, especially now, as you
Absolutely.
mentioned before, in the pandemic, you know, where many people are working from home. You should still dress up, even if you're working from home, because it changes your mind. It changes your mindset. You know, if you're wearing a t-shirt and you got to like answer business emails, you might not perform at max capacity as opposed to even if you wear like a button up and some khakis. Ultra easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just to
and-
get the mind going.
And what you're doing is you're messing with your hardwiring. I think people don't understand how subjective and how easily swayed our mindsets are. Like, I know it sounds corny, but I really believe in it. Where a lot of people talk about, you know, what you digest or what you ingest creates who you become. And you know, around negative people all the time, you'll probably become negative. Around positive people, you become positive. If you're like waking up with the crust out your eye, you got spaghetti on your shirt, you're just not gonna, you know, you're not business right now. You're just like, I'm home. And I think the pandemic has shown the people who had the ability to pivot and, all right, this is the new normal. All right, so how do I function
How do I adjust to this?
How do I function highly in this environment? I think that became the key to where empires were made and empires fell. Because I think that some people just, they kind of fool themselves into thinking, no, it doesn't matter, and it does matter. It does matter. It does matter. Like, humans are animals of routine, and people don't understand. Like, you know, people ask me, oh, what do you? Yeah, I wake up at my usual day 4 a.m. When before the pandemic, now it's 5:30, but it was 4 a.m. Go to the gym, get all that out the way, get to the office, get home. You know, get home, go to the office, be at the office at 8:30. Like, I had a routine, and it was like my most productive. March, April last year, it was the problem became, since we were working remotely, you never turned it off. So now you're all kind of like, you're kind of all over the place. So then I had to figure out my new routine, and that's what a lot of people didn't figure out. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't know, and the teachers unfortunately had to, because they had to be on call.
Exactly.
But I know a lot of teachers that were like stressing. They were like, yo, I have to teach my kids and those kids, and we're in the house, and you know, and it just, the pandemic also illustrated the two economies, like, where, you know, not everybody has a laptop. Not everybody has 5 laptops.
Very
you have
true,
3
yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
You don't got 4 laptops. 1 for you for work, 3 for the
Yeah.
kid. Like, a lot of economics were really, really exposed during this time. And I only want to talk about that only because I've heard it. I heard it. You know, I remember one time walking in, my nephew had burnt out his iPad, and he was working off his phone. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. Here's an iPad. But, you know, they weren't asking me for that. But I mean, this is the reality of what became. And we're just talking, we're talking about, like, I'm a little upper middle. What about the people that don't have that option?
Yeah,
you know?
very true. You know, and that's the thing though, like, as an influencer, being able to adjust to that.
Right.
You know, because like, I can't expect people to like buy everything I'm promoting. You know what I mean though? Because that's not real, that's not fair, and it's not realistic to what I am anyway, because I'm not even living that life either anymore, because my life has definitely changed as a content creator, as an influencer since the pandemic. I remember during that March time getting the emails saying like, oh, this campaign has been canceled, this campaign has been paused, you know, and I'm like, oh man, how am I gonna pay the rent? How am I gonna pay the bills? How am I gonna feed myself, you know? But being able to pivot, change, evolve with the situation.
Find where the value would be.
Exactly. So now, okay, now we're making home content. Now we're talking about, you know, grooming stuff that's more relevant to being at home.
Right.
Things to do at home. Let's make some cocktails at home. How can we still live life this way, be safe, and be productive at home as well?
And have, like, I think, the quality of life, right? It becomes the quality of life, because some people, they're stuck in their house and they hate it, and they look next door and other people having a ball. It becomes, again, a mindset adjustment where, like, hey man, if this is the new norm, let me see how I can make the best out of it. Where some people didn't have a really good experience with it, and now that we're starting to open up again, the people that did have a good experience want to stay home. And the people that don't are raring to go back to work. And now it becomes that struggle of those two different archetypes. That's what I've noticed, because I know some of my friends that are really ready to go back to the office because they need a place to go to where it's quiet, where they can focus. Of course, right. And other people, their quality of life has dramatically increased, where they spend a lot of time with their kids. One of my friends was like, I had helped him buy a house 2 years ago. He was like, this is the house I've most enjoyed. Because of the pandemic, I had to stay here. We did projects like, you know, he did home improvement projects, but he actually got to stay there and like feel the benefits.
Yeah, of
Where
course.
most of the time, me included, we do all these things, and you know, we acquire all these things, these goods, and we structure and shit like that, but you never really enjoy it because you're not there. I think that's changed, and I think now that I'm in the middle of basically moving, where when we saw the house that we were gonna buy, it became I wanted privacy, but I want to be near the highway because if I have to go, I want to be able to get there. But I want to come out into my backyard and not see my neighbors. So but that became a thing,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Because as you go through these life-changing events, you kind of become more concise to what you want.
Yeah.
And most people don't know what they want. And once you figure out what you want, it becomes very clear of how you get there.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, I think, for anything, whether a business person, influencer, whatever, just to hone in exactly on your needs. Like, what do you needs and wants?
Right.
You know, because if you keep like trying to juggle 40 things at once, you're gonna
Never
go
gonna
all
be
over
great
the
at
place.
anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Never gonna be great. I tell them, you know, like if you're so diluted, that's the term, right?
Yeah.
You're so diluted, you got to be a specialist in a few things, and if it's your passion, like this is for you, then it's not even work. It just becomes, yo, this is my life.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Like on my side, I like to stick it to the banks, where like if the bank denied my client, I will find a way to get him approved, and I feel good about that because I was there in 2008, 2009, where I was denied, and I was like, no, it's not possible. I have to figure out a way, and I did, and that became kind of like the chip on my shoulder, became the mantra. Yes, we can, because I was there, so I really identify with that person who comes to me like, oh, the bankman, they go, you know, like, I'm like, no, hold on, let me take a look. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we have to do
Exactly.
to get you going. And if it's not gonna go today, at least I'll get you ready in 2 months. You'll be ready to go. We don't have enough people that do that because people look at other people as transactions rather than a relationship. Where like, look, I want to help you. You know, like
It's a community situation.
well, that's the long game there, and that's what most people don't understand because they're so busy doing the metric of what we make this month that they forget that you can't really metric a relationship because the life value of a client could be, in my industry, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars if you treat the relationship right. But you got to start the relationship before you see anything, because in my industry, people, I believe, are always going to need a place to live, right? So they're going to eventually need me. And once they have their house and they get a little equity heavy, they want to pull out money because they want to buy another house, or they want, you know, like there's always, America was built was built on leverage. And that it still is to this day. Our economy is all based on leverage. We were talking about, me and my friend were talking about the gross national debt. And I'm like, yo, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, you look at that ticker. I was like, it doesn't matter because they kick it forward forever. It's like they can't call it on the government. You can't call the note. It's just forever. And it's inter-country now. Now we're talking about global leverage. I was like, that number could be whatever it's going to be. It's never going to be called, because if we owe China and China owes Russia and Russia owes, it's a domino effect. So everybody kind of plays together in this. And most people don't know about that. And most people, they think, oh, like, I love my OGs that be like, I want to pay my house off. I'm like, okay, so you're going to hit me up when you're 70, right? And you'll be like, yo, man, I have no write-offs. Because I have that, and I have clients that say, I want to remortgage my house. Why? I have no write-offs. So everything I'm getting is pension and Social Security, and they tax all that shit because I have no write-offs. So give me $300,000 so I can just have my account, at least have a mortgage write-off. Like, the game is played, know the rules. And that becomes what my kind of mission is for my clients. Like, know the rules, learn to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Us, especially as Latinos, are not financially literate enough, or have not been exposed enough, or don't know enough people that have acquired homes and know how to do things like that, that they can officially tell people, hey, this is what I would do, this is what I did. We don't have enough of that. I was educated, unfortunately, through other people from other ethnicities, and I'm grateful for that. And I took their knowledge and, you know, I spun my own stuff on it, and that's how I live my life. But most people, they don't know enough.
So basically what you told me right now is you are an influencer. You are trying to convert people, teach them something. Like, I'm trying to teach people about how to dress well, be confident, be strong, make good choices, use their money to like push agendas or whatever.
Right.
You are trying to hype up people of color to be like, look, these guys are not on your side. They're gonna use every trick in the book.
Become financially literate.
Yeah,
is
and
the
like,
mission.
and that's the hard part though, because like, real talk, I don't know how money works.
Right.
Money isn't real. Nothing is
right,
real.
right.
You know what
Everything's
I mean, though?
fungible.
Yeah. So like being able to learn the rules and how to play the game, so to speak, so we can make good choices and live the life, live the American dream, whatever that means.
Which is
and,
leverage.
Yeah.
Which is leverage.
So
yeah.
like that's an important thing to use your own social media platform, because that's the thing.
That's what I talk about most of the time, because I believe that people, they hear, so I can have a conversation with you and you'll hear something that strikes you, right? I may have said 9 other things that may be relevant, but they didn't strike you. So I constantly talk kind of about the same things on my social media platforms, because I think if I say it differently sometimes, it'll strike somebody else. Right now, my biggest consumer are my contemporaries, where they might not have as much experience as I do, or they might not know how to do something, or they need my help. So that's what I've been getting a lot of. But the goal is to litericize, if that's a word.
It is now.
The masses, right? Like to let people know, hey man, look, you can do this. Maybe it takes planning, maybe it takes discipline, God forbid. But you can get ready, but you gotta want to get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta work for it. Like,
yeah, you gotta influence these people to like want this lifestyle or to get to this level, so to speak.
Well, they have to stop saying not me, them. They have to say me too, me too. But contra to that, then we have a whole bunch of other people in my industry that are spitting out. I think I told you about the TikTok shit. It's driving me crazy where they give them half truths, and I'm getting crazy requests from people. Hey, can you lend me the money to buy the house? I'm like, no, that's
crazy.
That's not how it works, sir.
That's the thing though, because like for a lot of people, it depends on how you use social media. You can use it for negatives or positives, And at the end of the day, for some people, they just want to get viral. They want to get those eyeballs. They want to get those hits, and they will literally say anything to get those eyeballs.
And then I have to deprogram those.
And
people.
you have to, but that could be your content.
Right.
Like here's an example of something you can do. You can literally do a video where you're like watching another of those videos and destroy it. You know what I mean? Like break it down. There's people who do that.
I've been presented that.
You know what I mean though?
Yeah.
Like, yo, that's content.
I've been presented that option.
There's a TikToker I follow. I believe he's on TikTok, and he does skincare content. And basically, like it's like how moisturizing, all that stuff, skincare content. And what he will do is he'll actually do videos where he watches bad skincare like videos and be like, okay, this is wrong. This is terrible.
This is why this is wrong.
This is why this is wrong. And people are learning about how to take care of the skin better. And that's important. You can do the same thing with real estate, lending, words I don't understand.
Right.
You can influence me.
Things that are in my industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yours, right, it could be like, a video where you're like literally top 10 myths or like top 5, worst real estate
advice
TikToks,
that I've seen online.
Online.
Yeah.
People love that shit.
Yeah, I might have to go that way. I don't know. I don't like the direct, like taking somebody else's stuff and doing that, but I can take the stuff. People
love conflict, all right? Spoilers, But here's the thing, you're doing a service. Right. If it's already bad, if it's bad information, then what's the issue of you saying like that's wrong? As long as you have the backup, as long as you're like, legit about it, of course, like you're doing something positive. Yeah, it might be a negative spin, so to speak, but if it's bad information, then it's bad information.
Yeah.
And if they come at you, then clearly you must be doing something right.
Because people,
you're influencing.
I'm about to really make a lot of enemies right now, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So people like to use all these big words and what a personal pet peeve of mine is like, yo, if you don't know what the fuck the word means, don't use it. Like, I know you want to sound grandiose, but come on, bro. Like, if you sit with me, I'm gonna tear you apart. So for the masses, they just think that person sounds smart because they used DSCR or they used debt to income ratio or extension of.
I don't know anything you're saying, my guy.
Right, but what I'm saying
I don't know
is,
what you're saying.
Well, again, and I could spin it where you'd be like, oh, really?
And,
and a continuation of obligation, like all these terms that use in the banking world, but the layman doesn't know what they are. And the people that I see using them are using them in a way to just kind of solidify almost an authoritative figure, but they're not really being helpful. They're just saying, just saying shit to say it.
But that's the most important part of being an influencer is being able to bring value to people. Right. What's the value bringing? Are you teaching me something new? Are you helping me dress myself? Are you helping me make sure I'm good? I'm not getting screwed over by a bank or something like that. So if it requires you to be like, there's a lot of menswear advice I see that I hate. There's a lot of style advice that I'm not a fan of. There's a lot of looks I don't like. My content might be like, I like it this way or that way. Some people might message me saying, oh, that I'm not a big fan of that. So what? You know what I mean,
Right.
though? Like the fact that someone actually read it and were so butthurt, mad, that they were to leave a comment, offended to leave a comment, I did something correct.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean, though? Because now I opened up a conversation. Say, all right, well, if you don't like that look, tell me why.
Right.
And I'll tell you why I like this look. And at the end of the day, style is subjective anyway.
Right.
There's no rules or anything like that. It's just clothing, it's just cloth. With your work though, it is a little bit more solidified. There's no like
There's
two degrees.
Right, there's to a degree because there's rules of engagement, but there's if you properly coach your client. I heard this term from a rep like a decade ago, and it was like the sun opened up over the clouds. Oh, he was like, you can coach your client because nobody ever taught us that before. So if he's not ready today, he could be ready if you show him how to be ready.
Yeah.
The problem is that you're hearing everybody say, oh, it's 3% down, you can buy a house tomorrow. And then, 580 FICO score, we can get that done. And I'm like, yo, the lower your FICO score, it is possible, the harder it is. So why not invest in checking your credit, fixing your credit, getting ready? It's almost like going on an interview for a job.
Okay, 100%.
Would you go in sweatpants and not shave and stuff? No, you want to look right, right?
Show me the right paperwork.
Right.
Show me those, the paperwork.
Best foot forward,
exactly,
So like it's the same concept because the banks only see you for like 3 months out of your whole life.
Yeah.
So for those 3 months, be fucking perfect. And go back to whatever your regular scheduled program is afterwards. But I don't think they hear that enough. I think they hear, oh, free money.
But the thing is, like now, how can you make that in 15 seconds?
Yeah.
How can you do it in 30 seconds? That's the hard part. And
and keep their attention.
And keep their attention. That's the hard part though. And I completely agree that a lot of people like nowadays information is quick, it's fast. People's attention spans are negative 20. Like how can you're able to grab someone really quick? And I know that's hard. And that's why I can see where other people might be willing to do more clickbaity or use big words because if they see that the casual, the layman
Right.
is like, oh man, I need this sounds great. Let me save this and share it.
I need this. What is that? I don't know.
Exactly. So that's something you could be an influencer in that space talking about that. And that's the beauty of being in this position because social media has democratized information almost, for better or for worse.
Right.
So you're able to you have a platform now. You're able to give information out and people can find that information. And I've been very lucky with that because with social media, I was able to find brand deals, meet new business partners, do collaborations. We're here
because of social media.
We're here because of social media. It's a great collaboration tool, but also can be very dangerous as well with the information you're spreading, of course. So I feel like you're doing some good stuff out here. How can you convert that message into social media where now you are inspiring, you're influencing people to be smarter, making good choices, being more financially literate in the Bronx?
Financial
and stuff
literacy is like the mission. The mission.
There you go.
I was talking to my kids at the table the other day, and here I am, Omar, the mortgage expert, real estate expert, everything, and my son is learning about credit on YouTube. And I'm like, what?
Spoilers. There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Go.
He's like, well, nobody taught us about it. Like, ask me. And he's like, oh, I never thought about it.
Well, make a YouTube video. Where's your YouTube?
Ask Luciano.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's the thing though. Like that's the content you should be producing.
Yeah.
Because that's where the people are absorbing content now. You know what I mean? Make that TikTok. Here are 3 ways you can raise your credit score quick. Like here's a way to make sure I don't know, but here's the thing. That's not my field.
Right, understood.
But I know how to take information and translate that into that social media digestible content. You know what I mean though? I in my career, in my span of this, I've done food content, I've done sports content.
What's your favorite content? Suits?
Honestly, I've had some fun doing food content as well because you get all the free food. Honestly,
Right.
You know what happens to that food when they do all that stuff afterwards? Someone's got to eat it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean though. So
yeah.
I was very lucky getting a lot of free food that way. But my goal is always education. I want people to come out smarter after watching any content I'm helping produce, whether it be food content, whether it be sports or suits or whatever. You know, I recently did a video teaching people about the history of Panama hats.
I saw that. Yeah,
You know,
I
so
saw
like,
that. Pretty good.
So that, thank you, and that's something I feel passionate about. That keeps me going.
But they were originally made in Ecuador.
Ecuador, yeah.
There you go.
Panama
See, I paid
hats.
attention.
There, yes.
See how fast that was?
I influence.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
So like that's my goal. Like you come out learning something out of that. You know, it might be in a fun, silly way, but you came out of that. Like you said FICO score. Like for the layman, I don't even know what that means.
Credit score.
I know, but like that's something you can
break
teach.
That down.
You can break it down. Like here are 3 ways to boost your credit. Here's what FICO scores. Here's what not to do to ruin your FICO. Do not open up a bank account. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that could be the key thing. So being able to take information, make it more digestible, shareable, and then brings authenticity to you, because that is where your expertise lies. Because you can talk out of your ass all day about like the best way to get a mortgage. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you're gonna lose to like some person in Carajo land who's telling your kid how to do, you know, credit scores.
You know what I'm saying?
You're losing.
I was upset about that.
How do you beat this guy?
Yeah.
You gotta make that content.
And the kid lives in my house. And I was like, yo, why are you listening? So then that created a Sunday chop up where my wife and the kids sit with me and they ask me questions. Like everybody has 3 questions. So every Sunday we do that now. We have breakfast and we chop it up. And because I think it starts at home, right? Like, he's on YouTube. Like, you don't know who this guy is. And I'm like, and they're about like, one of them about to graduate college. So he's going to make his own decisions. Like I learned everything by you asked me, who do I think I am? I'm the guy who made a lot of mistakes. And I'm trying to help by helping you minimize your mistakes. That's exactly who I am. And I made a lot of mistakes and I continue to make mistakes, but that's how I learn. Like I had Adolfo Carrion on the show the other day and he tells me, he goes, experts make mistakes. He's like, how do you think they become an expert? By making mistakes. So I'm not saying I look to make mistakes, but I make mistakes, but I learn from them. And, and there, there's so many multiple options on a decision you can make that I'm sure you can make more than one mistake. But if you start eliminating the ones that you made, then you become a little better and that's how you become almost an expert. But nobody in this world is perfect. And I think that was a really, really big statement because, everybody, you have the other side. You have the side where people are trying to be so analytical and learn so much without making one move. Yeah, I want to be ready. But it's been 20 years. You're not ready yet? I want to be ready. I think you need to take a step forward, sir. Like before it's too late. Not that it's ever too late, but I think that's a big statement. I think a big statement for the people that are living online mostly because they're so busy consuming, they're not doing. And I think that's a whole nother conversation I have.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, like for me, like obviously I want my audience to take that information and do something with it.
Right.
Whether like if you're going to be buying a hat, making sure you know where it comes from, or if you're going to be buying a suit, you're making the right choice. Or if you're going to be buying a deodorant that I'm talking about, I armed you with information to make the right choice. And that's how I feel like when you're making your content, you're arming people with that information to make good choices, whether they hire you or like now when they go to the bank so they don't get, tricked by the bank or whatever, if they tell them some kind of crazy thing.
What they got to remember is this, right? So each bank has their own rules and the bank only, I'm just going to use it like almost like a McDonald's metaphor. They have their menu, right? That's all they do. So I'm in contact with 73 banks. So I know everybody's menu and my job is to know how to plug and play everything. So if you go to Citibank and they're just only doing this and you say, I want to do this, they're like, we cannot help you. They're not going to say, go to Chase. They're going to say, we can't help you. It's not possible. So you go to Chase and they'll say, oh, we can do this, right? Or you go to TD and they'll say, we can't do it. Like it becomes a process of elimination. So I think the whole process of becoming almost an authority on something is just to give people, what I've been doing is just giving people information. What they do with it, that's on them. If they want to call me, that's cool. If they don't want to call me, that's cool too. But at least know your options. I think people get so railroaded by different medias, by TV, by this, by that, by their circle, their circumference of friends, where they're self-limiting beliefs because their friends don't believe. All of a sudden, they've disqualified themselves. Meanwhile, there might be a program that for somebody who makes a certain amount of money, 3% down is available in this area. With low MI, I know I'm talking shit that you don't know, but what makes it very, very affordable. It makes it more affordable.
Yeah.
But you won't know that unless you dig, and most people don't dig. They just go to YouTube. And
Well, that's the thing. When you go on YouTube, I got to find you there. If you're not there, then you're losing potential clients. You're losing potential eyeballs. You are building up something here, but that's why you have to create this content. This is an amazing, like your show and everything, and all the content making is amazing. It's now being able to make that, put it into different chunks, different pieces. I always tell people, like, what always bothers me is when people first of all, this is like influencer talk. Like when they're like,
go ahead.
they're like, oh, they give me a horizontal video and they're like, let's put it on other social media channels. Okay, horizontal, first of all, unless that's going to be on YouTube, it's garbage. I need vertical content for like Instagram. I need vertical content for whatever, TikTok, whatever. You got to either make vertical first content because you're first doing this stuff on social media. It's the year 2021, the year of our Lord. I don't want to see horizontal anymore. You know what I mean, though? Like when this
and
video,
horizontal means what? Shooting this way, your camera this way?
Exactly.
Okay.
This video,
just for the regular people.
This video, I want to see vertical versions, gentlemen, or anyone who's editing this. Like, I need to see the vertical version of this video, please, because it's gonna look crap on any other social media channel if it's not meant in that format.
Right.
So creating content specific to the channels you're promoting this in. So if you're gonna make YouTube content, then yes, horizontal, all day, every day.
Right.
If I'm gonna see this on Instagram, vertical. You know what I mean, though? If I want to see it on TikTok, vertical. And then editing in a certain way for it comes out that way. So it's always thinking about the audience, where they're watching the content, where they're reading the content, creating content for those viewers.
I don't think people understand, and I've become more aware. I know you're totally aware of it, but I don't think people really understand the amount of work it
Spoilers.
takes. Yeah, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but the amount of work it takes to make something look good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know about filters, but I know you talk about vertical, horizontal, then you talk about 1080, DPI, 4K. There's so many, there's work to it. And that's why certain people's images look so much crisper.
Yeah, that's another thing where it always bothers me, where people have a bad rap for influencers because they think that, they just have a phone and they're taking a selfie and that's it.
Right.
No, it's like they have teams, they have cameras, they have lighting equipment. They are making,
and all that costs money.
And all that costs money.
Yeah.
Like they're investing in this. Like, I'm doing this by myself, or I'm hiring people to work with me, or I'm teaming up with friends to help me shoot this content because I want to make it look good. I want to make it presentable. And I think it costs. It's a lot of money you're putting into this, and it's a lot of work. I think a lot of people forget that when people are making all this stuff, when you're making this stuff, you're not here with iPhones recording this. Right. You know what I mean, though? Like
we have professional setup.
You are finding the people who you like to work with to create the content that you need.
Well, understand the vision.
And they understand the vision to create the content that you need. And I think a lot of people forget that it requires a lot to get in here. So when you're hiring an influencer, when you're hiring a team to make content for you, you need to understand that there's a cost to that.
There's a cost because there's a quality.
Yeah.
Right? There's a cost and a quality. I think Gary Vee says something all the time. I don't care if you use your phone and stuff like that. And I hear you, right? Mm-hmm. Something's better than nothing, right?
100%.
But it goes back to, now I'm going to use Gary and kind of bring him into what our whole conversation was about. It was like, well, if you want to be taken seriously, you want to put your best foot forward. You want to dress it up. You want to have it, not studioed, but I don't know what the term is, but produced.
Yeah, it's
professionally produced.
Yeah.
You can throw your story up there and all of that, but if you're going to be on there constantly, sometimes it's hard to watch crappy content.
Yeah.
It's almost like listening to somebody who can barely speak the language. No offense, and they're really trying. You're like, I can't understand this dude. Like you're trying, but how much effort will you put into it? Eventually, you'll be like, yeah, okay, next. Because
you're trying to figure out how to capture someone's attention as quickly as possible. Yes, you can make good iPhone content. I'm not taking it away because there's amazing TikToks. There's amazing videos made of iPhone. At the end of the day, the key thing is content is king. Mm-hmm. As long as the content is good, you could have freaking shot it in a whatever
fucking
Panasonic. Exactly. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean though? At the end of the day, content is king. You need to have a good information putting out there. But making it professional also helps because it makes people believe it more. Mm-hmm. It makes it more authentic. Authentic is the wrong word. It makes it more authoritative, if that makes sense.
I was going to go credible.
Yeah, credible. Okay,
credible.
That's a better word. Credible.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can say the same message, one in a professional camera or one with an iPhone, And low key, you might believe the professional looking one just because, because
absolutely.
you're, it's
So
crazy.
this has become more or less like your digital business card or your digital persona.
It's your resume. It's your living resume.
Right. Exactly said. Exactly.
So like when I honestly, actually, when I got my first job post teacher, I remember in my interview, I just brought out my phone and was like, this is what I did. Look at my content. I can do this for you. And that was good enough. Yeah, it sold. Yeah, and I got the job, So like, because it is what your work is. So that's why I always tell people that when they're building their social media and they want to be an influencer, they want to be a brand, I need to be able to know exactly what you're talking about, what you are in like 3 seconds. When I go to your Instagram page and I have no idea what you're doing, then you lost me. Right. Like that's an example for you. And I go to your Instagram, I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know what you're all about. It's important to be able to tell the story immediately. When you go to Dandy in the Bronx, like he wears suits, he's from the Bronx, and he's going to teach you how to dress well. Done. That's the storyline right there.
Right.
When I go to Luis, what do I know here? Real estate, mortgage, and you know what I mean? Like what is this? You know what I mean though?
Right.
So it's very important to hone into your niche, figure out what your gimmick is, what your storyline is, because then that's how you're able to find like-minded people, potential clients, and grow your community that way.
Yeah. I guess to go to the untrained eye, it's the fastest way to get there. From what I think I told you off camera, from what my experience now is more my contemporaries. Everybody who's in the business kind of knows who I am. They know exactly what I'm speaking. They know the language, the words, and stuff. So they're able to decipher. It's almost like watching a foreign language film, right? Like you're watching something in French. You don't know French, or like whatever, but they know what I'm saying. So like, oh shit, let me call them. And that's been working pretty good for me. That's because I'm coming in usually to save something, to figure something out. I think I told you the story about the client, whereas the other banker kind of like shit on him, and I was like, "Oh, this is what we got to do. You ready to do it?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Let's do it," and we closed. That's what's been working for me. But I think I've spoken. I think I told you also, and I spoke to my team. I was like, I'm gonna start highlighting my other pages, which are the business pages. So Luis Omar is not really; it's just who I am. But what I do will be highlighted through those pages and circled into this page, because I think they both stand apart because I'm not defined by just what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I completely agree with you, but like, you got to play the Instagram game. That's the thing though. It's all about the algorithm. It's all about like, I understand where you're coming from, because like real talk, I would have like 20 different pages. Like here's my gaming page.
Right.
Here's my hat page. Here's my Pokemon page. Here's my Twitch page. Here's whatever. But that doesn't help me grow because it dilutes the brand. You know what I mean though? Like I need to be able to know immediately who you are. And if you tell me to go visit your other page, I'm not going to visit your other page. I'm not going to go to it. You know what I mean? So like the key thing is for me, and I tell my other clients this, like you need to be able to have everything in one house. And like in your house has different doors. Like I'm in the Luis page, okay, here's his like pro tips, here's his stories, he's whatever. But I don't have to go anywhere else. Because if I go somewhere else,
I lost them.
You lost me. I'm gone. You know what I mean though? That's my little pro tip for you.
Right.
But like I understand, because you want to have it completely separated. You want to like differentiate stuff. But in your stage of growth right now, like I'm gonna say, if you're down in the future and you have 1 million followers, you can do whatever the freak you want.
You get 80 pages.
You can have 80 pages. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But as you're growing,
you're trying to grow
aggressively, you need to have everything in one place and be like, this is the mortgage guy, this is the bank guy, this is the finance guy. Maybe that's your gimmick, the finance, because that covers a lot of different avenues about what you want to talk about. Because when I go to your page and then you tell me like, if you want more pro tips, check out my other finance page. Am I gonna really gotta go to your other finance page?
If you really need to, you will.
I'm not, but you're not though. That's the thing though. I'm not. You know what I mean though? Like that's the thing. You've lost me. Like I want to just follow Luis, and then Luis is gonna give me pro tips about many things. Yeah, exactly.
Because people are inherently lazy.
Spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean though? So like that's my thing. Like it's like Day in the Bronx has many different facets, but they all live in one roof. You know what I mean? And I do talk about many different things in my Instagram stories. I talk about things in my different, posts and stuff like that, but it's all in one page. So they know that if they want to see me, they can go to
essentially there.
They can go there.
Right.
And I am trying to branch out, doing Twitch, doing YouTube, doing TikTok. But as soon as I tell people to go visit me on TikTok, they're not going to go. They're not.
What about when you tell them to go to your personal page? Do you see that at all?
Yeah, I do like the link in bio and stuff like that. It helps, but like I said, humans are inherently don't want to go anywhere else.
Right.
They want to stay one
You
page.
can use the word.
And another thing as well is the social media networks you're on, they don't want you to go anywhere else either.
Right.
They
They
will
want you to direct traffic anywhere.
And the word shadow banning and stuff like that, it's a touchy subject for influencers, but Instagram, if you're telling people on Instagram and you say, go to my YouTube, Instagram will show it to less people, 100%. Like if you tell them to go visit your Twitter, they're going to show it to less people. Like, so if you do that consistently, Instagram's be like, yo, this person's trying to get people to leave Instagram.
Right.
We don't like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We want our ads to be seen.
Exactly. Right? So you got to play by their rules too.
Right. If you're living in their house. Right.
And I am sadly living in Instagram's house.
Yeah. Right
now.
So
I'm trying to do everything it takes for Instagram to like me, show my stuff to more people. Because at the end of the day, Instagram wants you to buy ads.
Right.
They want you to buy ads. And by making your posts not as good, they'll be like, yo, you can reach some more people if you drop $10 here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot recently.
Because they're trying to get you to pay $10.
Right,
you know what I mean, though?
Right.
Like everyone and their mom gets the same message. You know what I mean, though? So like it's not. I'm sure you've gotten the message saying this post is performing 90% better than most of your other posts.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Boost it to get more.
To gain more follow or more recognition.
Yeah, it's BS. It's a lie because they want you to spend money.
Right.
So that's what my suggestion for you is. Yes. Talk about different things, but maybe have it all in your own one Instagram page. Okay. And then maybe in your highlights, in your Instagram highlights, you can have, here's the mortgage one, here's the business one, here's the real estate one, here's the, I don't know, whatever different topics.
Whatever we're talking about, right? Whether it's the real estate or, client testimonials or success stories.
Yeah, because like real talk, is your business card going to have like 40 Instagrams on it?
No.
No, it's not. You know what I mean? That's going to have just the one Instagram, and that one Instagram is going to be your home base where you're able to talk about different things. Like maybe in your link in bio, you might have like links to like, oh, if you want to learn more about this, visit my YouTube, visit this. But anything more, Instagram's gonna be like, I don't like this, and stop you from getting more eyeballs.
Right. That's very educational. That's very illuminating.
I got you, man.
I think, man, spoilers, like you said, spoilers. Yeah. What have you seen that actually works the best for you?
So
like stories, or is it still pictures or videos?
So here's the thing. It sucks because everyone's different. That's the thing. At the end of the day, like I have to personally like use your account and learn more about you to see what actually works well.
No, I'm talking about you. Like what?
So for me personally,
So
for me personally, Reels have been really good so far. But that's because Instagram wants more people to use Reels.
Right. Because they want to get them off of TikTok.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing. Instagram is owned by Facebook. They have been caught in the past artificially inflating numbers to like get more people to like buy into their services. There was actually a huge drama, I forgot how many years ago, where Facebook was pushing people to use more Facebook videos, basically. Okay. And apparently people, these websites were like, oh man, I did a Facebook video, I got like 1 million views.
Right.
It wasn't real.
Really?
It was not real.
They were just artificially.
They were artificially inflating those numbers to convince those companies to pivot over to video.
So they can charge more.
So they become soul bound to Facebook, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean, though. So like, they basically, a lot of companies went under because they moved their entire video teams budget, everything to like Facebook video,
and nobody was seeing it.
No one was really seeing it. It was a lie. So Instagram low-key is doing that. Here's some ultra insider baseball talk. So
ultra insider baseball talk.
Ultra insider baseball talk. So does anyone remember when Facebook...
Anyone in the crowd.
Does anyone remember when Instagram first introduced video? Do you remember the first day when Instagram introduced video?
I don't, but okay.
So the first day, as an influencer, because I've been an influencer since 2014, I got a message in the Instagram app saying, we've identified you as a style influencer. If you make videos, more people will see your videos.
Okay.
So Instagram was telling me literally, if I make more videos, more people are going to see my videos. I made a video, I had like 500,000 views.
Wow.
So for a good like half a year, I was getting 100K, 200K. I have one video that's 5 million views on my Instagram. Was that artificially inflated? Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? And the thing is, I was now like, oh man, I gotta make video only.
Killing it.
I gotta make video.
Crushing it.
I know, because Instagram was
They were feeding you that.
feeding me that like that dopamine, like, oh
Right.
man, you're getting millions of views. You got to keep making that content. And I remember one day out of nowhere, I made a video. It got like 1,000 views. You know how like that
Soul crushing?
That soul crushing, because
Yeah.
I put all my energy into that. But then Instagram was like, we decided that video is not hype anymore. Now it's something else.
We're on the stories.
Yeah, we're on. Real talk. We're on to IGTV. We're on to stories. We're on to
Right.
reels now.
Right.
So you gotta go with the flow with those social media channels, which sucks because at the end of the day, they control our destinies. Like at the end of the day, what you really want is people to follow you like on your own blog or your own
Independently,
website, independent. Maybe even YouTube. Even YouTube has their own issues as well. But my knowledge base is on Instagram. But like Instagram does things like that because they want to push you to certain ways. They want to push you into like, oh man, my video sucked.
Manipulate the mass.
I need to buy ads.
Right.
My post is doing bad. I need to buy ads. I need to boost my stuff, And is that real or not? Who knows? It's because at the end of the day, it's up to the overlords at
Instagram lords.
The Instagram lords to be like, yo, today's post is gonna work or not. You know what I mean though? Like Instagram definitely pushes certain narratives, they push certain content for better or for worse. But as a creator, you have to go with the flow. You got to change your ways. You got to change. You got to make content depending on what's trending.
What's hot now?
What's hot, exactly. Right. So if you're making reels, then Instagram is going to look favorably. It's going to look.
Well, they were doing that because they want to take people off TikTok.
Of course,
right?
100%.
And I heard they, if it has a TikTok watermark now, they're gonna
they
they
knock it down a little bit. Yeah, so like they know literally everything that you're posting. So they know they scan videos. They know exactly what you're doing. So you got to play the game. So when you're creating content on your Instagram, you got to play that game. Still create the content you're passionate about, but make it in the format that is supported by Instagram, if that makes sense.
No, it's what they want you to show.
So like for example, like taking this content and make it into reels, make it into short clips. Making it vertical, making it like it fits the full screen, making it fun, catchy, using text, caption. I believe captioning is very important because most people who consume content on social media have it on mute. I don't,
because they're usually at work.
Yeah, spoilers. There you go. So like they're not listening to anything. So making sure everything is captioned, so that they can actually read what's happening there. And also it's be accessible, it's good, So it's like considering those things when creating your content so that the Instagram lords look favorably upon you and actually show your content to people.
Share this.
There you go.
Yo, that was Instagram 101 with Diego Dandy in the Bronx. Diego, to wrap up, if they want to contact you, what are the best ways to contact you? And you can speak to the camera if you want.
There you go. So I'm Diego, Dandy in the Bronx. You can follow me on Instagram at Dandy in the Bronx or on my website, dandyinthebronx.com. And I'm also producing Twitch content. If you want to learn more about live streaming and stuff like that, I have a weekly show on Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, 1600 GMT, Dandy in the Bronx. And you can hang out with me and ask your questions. I'm always happy to answer questions live.
And there we are. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.